The following announcement is paid for by the Wrestling with Nerds.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hey there, the name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. For some unknown reason, enjoy.
That'd have been really funny.
What's going on, wrestling nerds? It's take 2 of tonight's show. We're talking about the Elimination Chamber from this past weekend, and we're going to talk about WrestleMania all the way back from 1984. Joining me is the other half of JJ Security, the current Nerds U.S. champion.
What's up, buddy?
Big Daddy T.
It is, with the tribal titty being held up by the finger.
And the wrestling guru holding the WN World Nerd Championship, whatever. Trying to make that sound cool, didn't sound cool. He's got the beautiful retro dual-plated winged eagle.
Thank you. How you doing? Yeah.
I'm still gonna say my eagle's bigger.
We're not going through that again, TJ. We're
not getting into a beak measuring contest every year.
A peak. Well, I mean, some people might want to, but all right. We're going to go all the way to Australia to talk about Elimination Chamber first. All the way in Perth. That was a very, very far 30-hour drive. A drive flight.
I'm out. You woke up at 5 o'clock?
Shut up.
I woke up at 4:50 and was back asleep by 4:53.
I thought it started, like the actual main card started at 6.
To be fair,
Wrong.
I had two alarms set. The one at 4:40 never went off because the phone got unplugged somehow and died. Had the 2 alarms gone off, I'd have been right there with you.
I still don't believe that one.
But
It takes 2 alarms to wake this sleeping giant.
it's your story. You tell you how you want.
Oh, no, I fucked up completely. I thought the main card started at 6, so I got up at 5:45.
I was just sitting in the Discord watching it by myself.
Hey, I got in there about 6:30. I watched half of it with you.
I thought you were closer to 7, to be honest with you. But hey, Perth, Australia, they had attendance of 52,590. That place looked packed. They did the floor seating very well, so no sight lines were messed up with trying to look around a gigantic pole. I know, Ryan, you mentioned that when we were watching it, that they looked like they actually did it well enough so everybody was able to see basically everything.
Yeah, they did a really good job of making sure nobody had any obstructed views. And I thought that was kind of cool for them to do. That's why you didn't see any spots on the corners. But yeah, I mean, to be Australia and to be on one side of the country with WWF or WWE and the other side of the country being Taylor Swift, it was a good crowd.
Yeah, no kidding. Granted, we kind of did the math. Australia from east to west is almost New York to San Francisco, east to west. So it's a lot of ground to cover, and a lot of it is a wildlife. So a lot of people showed up all weekend. I love the press conference. I love that they keep doing these press conferences.
I think they call what is it? That was Perth was Aborigine country or something like that. Ottawali or something like that.
TJ, everybody showed up to Australia but one person.
Poor R-Truth. Truth was in Austria.
What do you think that was like showing up to the arena and nobody being there?
For him, probably right out of the normal. I mean, you know. My
Funny-
bad, guys.
I would have
Funny
loved
s-
to see him actually in Austria with a video package of him going to an arena that they usually go to when they're in Austria.
funny story. Me and TJ had the opportunity of trying to chase him down in an airport one time.
Inadvertently, like
Yeah, we were in North Carolina for a buddy's wedding, and of course, Truth is from Charlotte, and we're walking, and I see this giant man with dreads, with the bottom half of them are bleached blonde, and I'm like, that guy looks really familiar, and like we tried like hell to be two fat fucks chasing this man down this through the airport corridors, and then he finally turned, and we saw it was our Truth. We just couldn't get to him to like get a picture.
and by the time like we could, he was gone. Like he just had vanished.
He's gone.
Well,
As
did he have the
if-
24/7 title at that point? 'Cause
It was
I
as if Tozawa was chasing him. The man just gone.
So let's go to Perth, Australia for Elimination Chamber. The Kabuki Warriors beat Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, and that crowd was pissed Indy Hartwell didn't win a tag title there.
And she got a hot tag. Like the match was great. The crowd wanted Indy, man.
I have a question.
What's up?
What is it with just wrestling in general that makes it that I don't mean, I'm not taking this in any way, shape, or form in a racial way or whatever. But why is it in wrestling that they make Japanese women more that are they are completely more unstoppable than a regular woman?
The way of the
They-
samurai.
They always make
Ishikawa?
they always make the Asian women like just a step above everybody else, and I don't understand why they do it.
Could it be
Even
the
when
strong
they're-
style aspect?
And even when they're like 4'11" and weigh 89 pounds, they're more destructible than Bianca Belair.
I mean, Indy. Oh, Jesus, I don't know about that.
I don't know,
Indy
I wouldn't-
Hartwell is huge, and like you said, they just kind of tossed her aside.
Yeah, I kind of
just-
wish
it's
that
just one of
match
those
went a
things
different
that-
way, but the Kabuki Warriors ended up winning.
It's just one of those things that kind of irk me.
And to start the show after the Kabuki Warriors beat Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, it's the Women's World Championship for the World.
Call it a qualifier.
For
It's-
the number one contendership for the WWE Women's World Championship.
Yes. For the record, I
You're
took night pills about a half hour ago. We're running on like 30 minutes and going here. But Becky Lynch defeated Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Raquel Rodriguez, and Tiffany Stratton. And Jesus effing Christ, was that crowd hot for Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany is over like Rover.
I
And-
was not expecting that, Ryan. You've been saying it for months now. Holy shit.
If Tiffy is over, Tiffy time is here. She was definitely the breakout star of this match.
Maybe the whole
Liv-
pay per view.
Liv's comeback tour thing that she's doing, whether she's gonna have a roadblock because she's not gonna be at Mania against Rhea. She looked really good. Becky looks like Becky. Bianca looks like Bianca. Props to Raquel Rodriguez. Rodriguez, Gonzalez, however. Her
Raquel is great.
Yes.
her
Before you know it,
her,
it'll be
uh,
Raquel Strowman.
her health issues flared up on her on the way to Australia, and she gutted it out, and she put on one hell of a show, looking as good as she ever did. I didn't like the square off with her and Bianca. That made her look weak. If she's supposed to be the powerhouse she is, she should have got the one up on Bianca Cena. I did like the finish with with Liv getting the quick roll up on Bianca, turn around and get the manhandle slam 1, 2, 3. The only thing of the finish that confused me was the whole meltdown in the corner from Bianca after she lost. Like, I don't know what that was all about. I guess it was she couldn't believe she's not going to be in a title picture. Like poor baby girl. Wing.
Well, maybe we'll have to tune into the show and they'll talk about it.
Hopefully, there'll be a storm brewing that'll whip her ass at WrestleMania. Could be fun.
A storm? What do you mean by storm? Is that like code for something?
You remember the X-Men character Storm?
Oh, okay.
She's
Yeah.
a black woman with white hair. I know of another one that's a pretty badass bitch. I'd be ready to see that at WrestleMania.
I was like, I don't know if Tony is done with AEW yet.
No, she's still timeless over there.
Which, like that character, very fun. Missed her in WWE though.
She can give me fruit out of places on her body anytime. What?
TJ tits out. Let's go. No, not like that.
Tits up and watch for the shoe.
But overall, I enjoyed this. Like I said before, I think this was the chamber match of the night. At least my opinion. I had a lot of fun with this, and it gelled very well. There wasn't a lot of, I felt, wasted time in this match.
I would give this. I have a hard for match of the night between this one, and I really, really enjoyed the tag team match.
Yes, so did I. But do we want to do ratings for matches, or we just want to get going?
I mean, for a chamber match as good as this was, and it wasn't dominated by one person or any of that kind of stuff, I'll give it a solid 7.5.
There you go. TJ?
I like that. I like 7.5. It's a good number.
Fuck it, I'll give it 2. I was gonna say a 7, but we'll make it an even cross the board 7.5.
I mean, as far as women's elimination chambers goes, I don't think they've ever had a bad one.
Well, the one where Shayna destroys everybody was kind of bleh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Her throwing Liv through a pod was pretty entertaining.
Well, what Tiffy going through the pod, 2 of them. This was awesome. Her shot off the top rope or off the top of a pod. This had everything that it needed to have, and it kept the match going. Didn't seem like there was much of a hesitation on anybody's part. The one part of it that I didn't really like, and I don't know if it's just she's got to get back into the flow, but Naomi is sus on ring work.
Yeah, she kind of
some of her stuff just don't work now
like it used to.
And can I just say, I am not a fan of whatever the current music is for her. I liked the old stuff way better. It hit flat for me.
I mean, they also couldn't do any of the blackout stuff because it was in the middle of the day.
No, but I mean, like, are they even with this music package? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, but let's.
TJ likes to bring it to the floor.
I do. I definitely do. Like, feel that glow, man.
All right, second match of the main card, Judgment Day. Finn Balor and Damian Priest with Dirty Dominic Mysterio defeating New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne, and Tyler Bate.
Can somebody explain this name to me again? I still don't understand it.
It's a throwback. It's a throwback to one of their names as a team back in the UK.
Yes.
Okay.
And UK is popular for catch wrestling, so that's where the catch comes from.
This was a fucking great match.
I enjoyed the hell out of this match for being a tag team match where you thought like it can't be good because Damien's the only big guy, and they worked their asses off in this match.
They gave. Go ahead, Ryan.
The other fun part was Dominic's interaction with Michael Cole.
Dominic with any interaction, the crowd wouldn't let him talk again, which is still hilarious.
Okay, so there was about a 10 or 15 second period where the screen just goes completely black. I figured out why.
Because the whole entire crowd was giving him the finger.
Yes. Everybody was flipping Dominic Mysterio off, and they just shut the camera off.
But, like, there's a spot where I think he trips Pete up, and he's sitting on the floor, and he's looking at Michael Cole, and he goes, "I'm smarter than you." And he's talking to Cole the whole time. and Tyler Bate is sitting right there. It was just kind of funny.
And speaking of Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, I know they lost, but boy, did they, as a tag team, put on one hell of a show. Hell of a show. I'm falling more and more into this New Catch Republic, like to the point where when we get to Mania and they have this battle royal for whatever, like for a tag team championship, whatever you want to call it, they could definitely knock off Judgment Day.
Yeah, they're a good team. We got Pete Dunne back, and I think this was the right way to bring Pete Dunne back.
God,
I
no
did
more
like the
birds.
finish again. Another good solid finish with
The double choke slam.
the double choke slam into the coup de grace. I enjoyed it. It was a
Is it
very
me
good
or
tag
is
match.
coup de grace one of the most protected finishers that we have left in WWE? Because it seems like nobody fucking kicks out of that.
I think
No.
Roman may be the only one.
Probably one of the only 2 or 3 that's ever kicked out of it. But and then Finn holding his thumb.
Oh,
the
that was
more the more I watched, I think that was more. It might have been more show. Going back to when Pete Dunne had a hold of his thumb.
Yeah,
But
I think there
we'll
was a
wait to
cut there,
see.
but the way he was doing it, I think it was trying to push the blood out.
Yeah, it was almost like he had like rash, like ring rash, mat rash. But as a tag match, like I told you, it's hard for me to pick between this match and the women's chamber match. So I'm gonna go 7.5 on this one as well.
I'm gonna go one up. I'm gonna go 8. I loved this, and there's not much that probably goes from a 0.5, but Jesus.
Well, here I'll make Ryan's the number. I'll give mine a 7, and then his average is out.
But no, I had a lot of fun with this, and I think the finish, how it lit up to that finish, and then it actually happening.
Finn ish.
He's here all week, folks. He's here all week, folks.
It was a great match, and now with the third match of the card, because there's only 4 on the main card.
Don't we get the Grayson Waller effect now?
I thought it was after the chamber match.
No,
No, it's before.
this is in the
Oh,
middle.
It was before.
That's where I jumped in. Was Rollins was in the ring, and our favorite nightmare wasn't yet. That's where TJ woke up.
Well, since you woke up, TJ, and I know you've seen it back, what'd you think of the Waller effect in his home country, and drinking a shoey with? I think that was a UFC champion. Wish I didn't remember
It
his
was
name.
good. I still don't understand why. Like, was Austin Theory there as like bodyguard?
I don't know. They didn't help each other one bit.
No.
Right, like
They're supposed to be a team or somewhat of friends, but they didn't help each other out at one time.
it was just kind of funny. And so Theory's there, but he's just like, mean mugging the whole time.
I don't get Grayson Waller. Some people love him, some people hate him. I just don't get the character, to be honest with you.
I don't understand
either,
yet.
but I
he was
enjoyed
good on
this.
NXT. He
And
was
as
good
far-
on NXT.
As far as Austin Theory goes, I think he needs to go away. Doesn't need to go away like go to a different organization. He just needs to go away for like 3 months and just let Hunter rebrand him, because he has this shtick of the guy that was in charge before, and he can't get rid of it.
Yeah. And
as big as he is, and as young as he is the future of this place. But he needs a whole new reset.
I could see that. And I enjoyed what this did. It wasn't really a Grayson Waller effect. It was more of a Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, hey, what's going on at Mania kind of thing. And what
yeah, Seth announced that he's only days away from being cleared to return to the ring. Cody lays out the challenge we've been waiting for. He challenges The Rock anywhere between now and WrestleMania, which
He actually says specifically anywhere between now and the main event. of
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
So I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a tag match night one with Seth and Cody versus Rock and Roman.
Do you think there's going to be a stipulation in that? Because I remember about a month ago, I mentioned that if that tag match, if Cody and Seth win,
I don't think so because I
Well,
think that'll
they
be.
didn't necessarily say tag match. Seth just said he'd have his back.
I think it'll end up being a tag match, but I also think there
so
won't be any
Seth will have two
stipulations.
matches, and
Seth,
Cody,
Cody, and Roman will all have two matches. I
and we're going
think
to be there for that.
I can't see a stipulation only because I think Bloodline gets the win in the tag match, and then Cody and Seth get their wins in their matches. Because you could easily see Drew costing their tag titles. Sorry, spoiler alert. But you can see Drew costing them the tag match.
Yeah,
And this isn't any different than like New Japan for like Wrestle Kingdom, which was originally the first one in night one, night two main show.
oh, really?
Night one, their main events would be in tag matches, and then night two, their main events would be in matches
I didn't know
or
that.
be in their main event matches. So it's not uncommon. It's just uncommon here in the States. But I think that's where they're headed. I think you're gonna get that night one, and then night two, you're gonna get Roman going in all confident against Cody, and that could be what he leads to, where he says, "I didn't need the bloodline to beat him last night. I don't need him now." So then they don't show up, and Cody beats him.
I mean, I could still see The Rock coming out and then Rock bottoming Roman.
Never know.
Or
Maybe if he
well,
caught help is the reason they lose. But yeah, it's all
Is-
speculation.
it okay, let's just throw that out there. If The Rock comes out, Rock bottoms or people's elbows, Roman, Cody wins, does that diminish Cody winning?
No,
No?
no, because Roman, it's an eye for an eye in a way. Of Roman's won so many matches that way that, haha,
Or
you got it
or even if
backfired.
this is after other bloodline members interfering, The Rock comes out as like another bloodline member to interfere, and he actually flips the script.
Mm. And after the Grayson Waller effect, we
Well,
get
don't jump past Austin Theory's great impersonation of The Rock, AJ. I mean, it ended so well for him. He only got beat on by Seth and Cody Cutter, and then Grayson Waller tried to save a plant and missed. Then we can go to the.
It like you said, it was a spot to have Cody and Seth on the card.
yeah.
But I just want to say, Austin Theory getting thrown into the corner with the microphone still in hand was hilarious. If you saw it,
That was funny. Yes.
he's like, oh, but
And now the men's Elimination Chamber match for a World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania 40. Drew McIntyre, figured fucking that was coming, defeated Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, L.A. Knight,
yeah.
Logan Paul, and Randy Orton. And it was a pretty good match. I don't know if Randy Orton was selling very, very well, but he had me thinking his back was fucked in this match.
I think he was selling pretty hard.
And I loved Logan Paul in this match. Him and Kevin Owens back and forth, like even before the match even started.
Have you seen the videos of what he was doing in the pod?
Yeah, made the devil ears. Kevin
he had a
sucked.
permanent marker, and he wrote devil horns, and he wrote Kevin sucks, and made Kevin look like a pig.
Yep.
And he was mic'd the whole time.
It was great. And the match wasn't bad at all.
Owens punching the plexiglass wall.
He was also headbutting it.
Drew or somebody was getting thrown into it.
He was throwing forearms.
Whatever it was hilarious.
That was hilarious. Bobby Lashley is the outlier of this match. He was like the one guy that hadn't been in a main event picture all year long, but he's in here.
Mm-hmm.
I think we found out why, because Big Bronson Reed had to stay stateside because his wife gave birth to a new baby boy, I think it was.
Oh well, congratulations to them.
They set up some Mania matches, I think.
AJ Styles and LA
think,
Knight.
I think we're gonna get AJ Styles versus LA Knight.
Which I thought they were going to go the other way with Logan Paul and him, but clearly with what Logan did to the Viper.
Holy shit, though. When Logan Paul is just. And then they don't even pan over to Roman. Roman just comes to Roman.
His name's Randy.
Randy.
His name's Randy.
Just comes the fuck out of nowhere and just RKOs him. And you're like, well, that just happened.
Yeah, but it makes you wonder, are we gonna get a triple threat for the US title? Is the US title gonna be in a ladder match?
Four-way?
Are we gonna get LA Knight and AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul,
Randy Orton?
Is it gonna be US championships on SmackDown? Is it gonna be a SmackDown ladder match for that title?
Fatal 5-way?
Anything that I can get Logan Paul up in the air doing fucking crazy shit, I'm down.
And he could definitely do that with either Kevin Owens. Can't really do it with Randy Orton. Randy Orton usually keeps his ass on the ground. Way.
Yeah, but either way, we get a really cool RKO spot somewhere. Somebody else.
That's also true. Holding the belt without getting it. Let's go and just.
Oh yeah, it'll be amazing.
We'll be there. It'll be great.
It'll be viral.
But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad match. It just didn't. It didn't hit like the girls did.
The ending was good. The ending was very good. Not on par. Close to the girls. Logan Paul gets eliminated, and then you think Randy Orton's about to win. I definitely thought Randy Orton was about to win. Then Logan Paul gets back in the ring with those brass knuckles and Randy just drops like he got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, they did a really good job of not showing Randy with the RKO, and then not showing Logan throw the punch.
And
yeah,
he just goes
knockout
limp.
Out of nowhere.
And then Drew just crawls back over, and 1, 2, 3. Drew's gonna face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40. Okay match. I'd probably give it maybe a 6.
It's kind of what we all knew was going to happen. I think that was the one thing with both chambers. I think we've all said it going in. It seemed like the winners were preordained. It was just how they got there.
I would have liked to see Randy win. I really would have.
I would have liked to seen a surprise winner in one of them.
Yeah. So, the next match, Nia Jax and Rhea Bloody Ripley for the Women's World Championship. And literally the minute...
This is my brutality!
I couldn't hear the song anymore because the crowd was so loud.
It was awesome.
Like,
this is exactly what they were hoping.
Goosebumps.
That's why this match went on last. And I don't think... I mean... Is it weird that... This is a dynamic I've noticed, that Rhea can be the face or the heel on a dime.
Yes.
In this title run.
Yes.
Like, you bring Nia in and she instantly shifts to the face. Or in Nia, it's like, but yet, we're going to get her with Becky and she's going to be the heel. Like, it's a really interesting, unique thing they can do with Rhea that I've enjoyed a ton.
I think not a lot of people, but no, it just shows how good of range Rhea has. And this was a brutal match. It was a good match. They went through a fucking table.
Everybody of the half of the species we belong to enjoyed the wardrobes.
There's not a doubt in my mind that Rhea Ripley is the best superstar in the WWE at the moment.
I'd jump on board with that.
I mean, I give this match of the night. That's my pick.
Really? Okay.
I mean, Rhea.
Okay, TJ, is it match of the night for the match or the wardrobe?
No, for the match. This was a lot of fun. I mean, the table spot was good. Just how much she was, her family's in the crowd. She was playing it up to him, and Naya's just evil and vile, and I don't like.
Yeah, but I didn't go into this match thinking Nia had a chance at all.
Well,
And that's my only issue with it.
I don't
yeah,
know
but
though,
but
because
if
there
you
was a
go off
lot
of
of
that, did anybody have a chance?
there was a lot of doubt on whether you got to remember they were in her home country, and WWE has a tendency to make them look horrible in their home
I
country.
know Edge
least the
and
old-
And
Cena in a
Nia
TLC match.
and Nia's been on a roll, and I love the role she's on, but Bria stood out against Nia. As good as Nia is, she stood out. And now she gets to see how she does against the man, which I'm kind of curious because now I really want to know what it's like for mommy to be at the bottom or the top, or
Who's she
I'll just
married
take
to?
I'll take mommy anywhere.
I don't think she's married. They're
Mommy's
dating.
not. Yeah, she's not married to anybody. She's dating Matthews.
Um, but yeah, I'd give this match maybe not match of the night, but probably right up there with the other ones. Probably 7.5. I enjoyed it. Rhea, phenomenal like always. Ryan,
She's so good. She's so good.
I'll give it a solid 7. I mean, it could have been a little bit better in ring work. Um, what was it? Literally 30 seconds in, I think both of her earrings went flying out.
yeah,
That was fun. That was the part of it though that wasn't like it made it that much more gruesome. You know what I mean?
I don't want to know if that actually hurts. I really don't.
I don't. I wouldn't think
Especially if
because more
Gage
than
is
likely
that
it's
big.
just. I mean, there probably
think-
were plugs, if anything.
I think the biggest takeaway from this is going into the main event of the match. You were waiting for a botch from Nia big enough that it would just keep making it round waves, and both girls were super solid.
Yeah,
Now is that on Rhea for being, or is that on Naya? Who would you attribute that to?
probably
That's on
Nia.
both of them. They both put the work in. I mean, I think the only thing that I saw, heard, or anybody got a laugh out of was your dumbass when the corner of the table went flying because it bounced off the floor and bounced a little farther away than normal. But
It stayed
Um,
like attached and it just got propelled like into
Yeah.
the air for a second.
Bad TJ, bad.
And the monitor, like I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but when Rhea gets tossed down onto that table, the monitors hadn't been like swiped away yet, so she comes right down on them fucking things. That had to hurt.
yeah, but they build them things now that they're flat so that they work that way, so
Yeah,
that
they're-
they can land on them.
They're
And they're
little galaxy
indestructible.
pads.
Yeah, but I thought they had like a little angled bit.
No, they still bend. They're indestructible. But all in all, a good match. Great win. Good celebration at the end. They gave Rhea the moment to shine. Keep in mind, guys, this card was originally, it's only 4 main card matches, 5 altogether. 3 of them are women.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah,
So all in all, it was a decent show. I mean, I don't. It's kind of hard because it's like, how can you really have a build up to WrestleMania bigger than WrestleMania?
Yep.
Like it didn't capitalize on a build to WrestleMania, but it started to build stories to WrestleMania.
I like that. I think that works good. So, shall we get into the first WrestleMania?
Sure.
Wake up, everybody. Wake up. From Madison Square Garden.
Well, to be honest, I was waiting for Ryan to go. No, it's just WrestleMania.
Hey Ryan, it's not 84, it's March 31st, 1985.
Potato.
Oh, okay. From Madison Square Garden, in attendance 19,121. It's WrestleMania, the first of its kind. And I'd say it was a gigantic success, wouldn't you? Because, we're kind of going to 40 this year. That place was packed, and this was the actual first time I ever saw it. Today was the first time.
Oh wow.
And I was very much intrigued at how different but the same everything is.
What'd you think of the ring bell?
I didn't like it. Literally every time Finkel said something, somebody ding ding ding, ding ding
Ding,
ding.
ding, 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 ding. It's almost like the
um,
right to censor freaking thing, you know?
yeah, it's kind of
Don't even fucking do it.
it's kind of cool to think about it in the sense of there's not as much pop and circumstance. There's
Outside of the main event.
no pyro,
Nope.
no soundstage, no big ring, no big entrances.
It's Madison Square Garden, so they got the one little small entranceway, and it looks like, for the most part, police were escorting
And-
the talent down to the ring.
and the camera's backwards, so the hard cam is actually behind the entrance.
Which that was a cool dynamic because when people were like looking down the ramp and like come here, they're literally pointing at the camera.
Yeah.
There was a little controversy surrounding the start of this. Like, I mean, it would be pay per view back then, but who the hell was the original person supposed to sing the national anthem?
What?
Have you not heard this?
No.
Mean Gene ends up singing the national anthem.
Yes.
And apparently, like, there was supposed to be a celebrity that was supposed to do it, and they didn't. And it, like, I don't know if rumors ever got out of what the original plan was.
So who is the celebrity?
They don't say. It specifically mentioned that McMahon and Okerlund refused to name.
Huh.
Whoever it was failed to appear.
Beats the holy hell out of me.
So Mean Gene sings it. It was actually pretty good. I didn't know Mean Gene could sing.
It was weird because I know they do America the Beautiful now. They don't do the national anthem anymore.
No, they started doing America's Beautiful at number 2.
Okay.
Number two, you get Aretha Franklin.
I thought that was 3, but you're probably right.
Or no, number 2, I think you get Ray Charles. Ray Charles is first, and then it's Aretha Franklin. And then 4 was Rockin' Robin.
Wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Jesus Christ.
I know 7 was Willie Nelson. 8 was Reba McEntire. And then there for a while they didn't show it for a long time. But this shows how much it's grown in 40 years. This card is only like 2 hours and 25 minutes long.
Less than that when you add up all the times.
We want to jump into our first match.
Tito Santana defeating the Executioner by submission, a figure 4 lock.
A lot of parts unknown competitors this event.
Yeah, and at this time, the Executioner at this time is Buddy Rose, good wrestler out of Tennessee, Portland. Was pretty good. Was a hell of a hand type guy. This is Tito after he had just lost the IC title to Valentine, looking to get his way back up to getting another shot. It's a good solid match. There's no flash. There's no gimmicks in this.
No,
I say there's no gimmicks, but there is a $15,000 body slam match coming up. But it's a good solid match. Tito gets the win.
Match number 2, King Kong Bundy defeating Special Delivery Jones in 24 seconds. I literally went to go grab a drink. Match was over. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the Mouth of the South predicted it'd be good.
They said that this match is 24 seconds long. For a long time, it was officially a 9-second win. But you could definitely tell the match was longer than 9 seconds.
Yeah. I guess it was just a WrestleMania squash match where King Kong goes over
Well,
big.
it's to continue the build for King Kong Bundy. Special Delivery Jones was another good hand. but there wasn't actually really much special about Special Delivery Jones, except
Uh,
for um
Do you know
he
what
carried
match
he carried Tony
unseated?
Atlas and Rocky Johnson's bags for him.
Do
Really?
you do you
Yeah,
know whose match unseated this one is the quickest match ever?
it would have
Sheamus and
been
Daniel Bryan.
no, it would have
No?
been Rock and Eric Rowan
Oh,
Correct. Ding ding ding.
at 30, 31, 30, whatever Texas
32.
was.
Dallas 32.
Yeah.
32.
What was Sheamus and Daniel Bryan? How long was that? Because that had to be short as hell too.
I don't have that number on hand.
Oh well.
The build this match was built at 9-second win. And then when Diesel beat Bob Backlund for the WWF title in '95, that was an 8-second win.
Okay.
Just to give you sight on how the WWF did this back then. Our next match was this was a match that I wish was about 10 minutes longer.
I enjoyed
You
Ricky
get
Steamboat and Matt Bourne.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Matt Bourne. Matt Bourne, for people that don't know, was the original incarnation of Doink the Clown.
I did not know that.
He's one hell of a wrestler. Had his demons, had his personal problems. You could go on YouTube and look at a whole thing where him and Duggan shoot on each other. I think it was told about on the Dark Side of the Ring about him. But Matt Bourne was a second generation wrestler, a really good wrestler. And Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. This match could have went 15 minutes and would have been awesome to see.
Just two really good wrestling workers putting on a fucking clinic.
Steamboat gets the win. This is the early part of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat where he has the kind of the Bruce Lee moniker type look to him. But it was a very good match. The next match is kind of the for me.
Yeah, it should have been a lot better.
It's Brutus the Barber Beefcake versus David Sammartino. Not Bruno, and you can tell it's not Bruno because it's David. David tried to be what his father was, and was not that in any way, shape, or form. Brutus is there because he carries for Hulk. He's not the he's not the barber yet. He's just Brutus Beefcake. I think he's built out of San Francisco, California now. It's a good match. It was a good match for these two, but like it was definitely the lowest point of the card.
Yeah. See, I thought it got a little. Once everybody started getting involved, that's when I was like, I don't think we needed this. We could have just wrapped up the match and would have been fine. But once Bruno got involved, and for the life of me, I can't remember who was managing Brutus.
Johnny
Johnny Valent.
Yeah.
Luscious Johnny V.
Yeah, once everybody else started getting involved and then you get the double disqualification, it's like, what the fuck's the point of having the match at that point? Unless it did it further a rivalry at all, or was it basically done?
I think they build eventually. It ends up being Brutus and Luscious Johnny V versus David and Bruno. But I could also see this being one of those ones where Bruno tells them that David's not taking a pin on this, and this is the best they can come up with. Not a very. I was never a big Bruno Sammartino fan at this time because this was when he started to turn on not liking the wrestling business for what it was. And it more or less it just passed him by, and he wasn't ready for it, in my opinion. Next we get IC title match. Greg the Hammer Valentine defended it against Junkyard Dog. Very good match. Junkyard Dog is over like Rover.
I got it.
Okay, just making sure. Make sure there was somebody got that one.
But I'm kind of upset the way it ended but for the heels to go out the way it ended, it makes sense. Because there was no way Greg Valentine was getting back in that ring and having this match restarted. Junkyard Dog
No.
at that point was gonna win.
Yeah. I enjoyed the match. I like Greg the Hammer Valentine. I mentioned this to you. Greg the Hammer Valentine is one of only two people to be at the first WrestleMania and be on the first Starrcade. That being the other one being Roddy Piper when they fought each other in a dog collar match. That's one of the most brutal matches I've ever seen in my entire time of ever watching wrestling.
I can't wait to go watch that sooner or later.
We will. Next up was the tag title match, and it's kind of funny. The IC title match and the tag team title match are both the same amount of time.
Yes.
6 minutes, 55 seconds. We get
Cheeky baby.
Sheiky Baby and Nikolai Volkov beating the US Express, that is Rotunda and Wyndham, Bray's father and Bray's uncle. This is how that relationship started.
Yep.
Funnier thing to note is TJ, your favorite Hulk Hogan ring music is which one?
Well, it would be Real American.
Yeah, it wasn't originally meant for Hulk Hogan. It was
See how-
originally meant for this tag team here, the US Express.
No
Well,
shit.
you see how good it was that they gave it to Hogan.
This is kind of towards the end of Rotunda and Wyndham's run in WWF. I think they end up beating the Sheik and Koloff for the tag titles again. They swap them and then they're out. They go back to NWA. Mike goes into his Syracuse wrestling gimmick, and Barry Windham goes back to being Dusty's understudy. In NWO, where they were grooming him to be a world champion after the unfortunate car accident for Magnum TA. Barry Windham was the next guy for them. Good match, good finish. I mean, you get Blassie, you given the use of his cane to get the win.
Because
Typical
I wasn't
heel.
out there with a cane. I don't know what you're talking about.
Listen here, you little pencil neck geek. Good win, good match. I enjoy it. This is one of my favorite things to go back and watch. I love this WrestleMania just to watch it and like just to sit back and watch wrestling and not deal with dirt sheets or spoilers or any of that kind of stuff. This is one of my favorite ones to go back and watch.
Wish we can go back to that time where everybody's not like, who's coming out? He's rumored. He's rumored.
Yeah.
Next up, do you know the interesting factoid of that is that Sheik and Volkov were the first people to ever actually win a title on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
They have that honor.
Sheiky Baby and Koloff.
Ugh.
Next up is the $15,000 body slam match. Big John Studd and Andre the Giant.
And if Andre would lose, he'd have to retire.
Which I'm kind of confused. The match's rules was Andre had to slam Studd. There's no time limit. So does Studd have to slam Andre to win?
Ryan, I think you're looking too far into it because everybody I felt like knew Andre was gonna.
Yeah, but it was like you think about that. Like if Andre loses, well, how does he lose? Does he lose by attempting to slam Stud 3 times, and if he doesn't do it in 3 times, he loses? Kind of confused.
All good points. All good points.
This is always fun for me because I didn't watch this WrestleMania before I watched WrestleMania 3 as a kid. So I only ever knew Andre as a bad guy. So to go back and watch this WrestleMania and Andre's a good guy,
Throw money at everybody.
and he's Hulk Hogan's buddy in this one, was a shock to me when I first watched it for the very first time.
That's it's weird to hear because knowing how long you've watched wrestling and you're like, I didn't know he was a good guy back then.
Well, I mean, you think about it this way. It's not like when I was a kid at 4 years old, I could get on the internet and look up matches from before. If I didn't have it on a VHS, I didn't know it existed.
Okay, also true. Very true.
So
These
that's what
kids
made
today
that's what made
have
the
it
80s
so
and
nice.
90s, early 90s fun is there was no way to go back and watch unless you got it on VHS. But Andre gets the win, body slam stud. The history between these two is a legendary that Andre did not like Big John Studd because Andre did not like other giants in promotions. And you can see some of Andre's shots are really stiff. And like I made the joke when we watched this back that Andre's squashing him in the corner, and I'm like, you know, he's farting on him. You can just tell.
No, he was there. Definitely said it.
Yeah. So Andre gets the win. Andre starts throwing out the money, and that little damn weasel, Bobby the Brain Heenan,
That was
slides
fun.
in, grabs the bag, and takes off running. I loved it. That's Bobby the Brain Heenan at his best. That's why he is TJ. That is why Bobby the Brain Heenan is the greatest manager of all time.
This will save you some money.
Next up for the WWF Ladies Championship. This is part of that rock and wrestling connection that was going on at that time. You get Leilani Kai brought to the ring by the Fabulous Moolah versus Wendy Richter, and her manager is Cyndi Lauper. It's a good match, but it's more for the pops. They wanted the camera shots of Lauper doing her dance and all that kind of stuff.
Let me
Wendy
tell you,
gets
the man does a really good impersonation of this.
I'll give her that. I'll give her that. Wendy gets the win, wins her belt back.
This is how you figured how to say your wife's name.
Yeah. Leilani Kai is how I knew how to say my wife's name when we first met, which took her by surprise because she said most people mispronounce her
And
first name.
how long did it take for you to explain why you knew how to say her name?
I don't know how long it ever took. I think probably a while.
I'd
We
held
were
that
probably
one to the
talking about
vest. I'd have been like, yeah, no, I just knew.
it. Probably was watching this and she heard the name and then she's like, "Oh, is this probably?" And I'm probably like, "Yeah."
It was this.
But I mean, it was a good match. It was for what it was meant to be. We get into the main event now, where we get Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff,
Brought to the ring by
with Ace Cowboy Bob Orton, Randy Orton's
a
father,
gigantic cast on his right arm.
with
Left arm?
with the arm with the arm that would never heal, versus Hulk Hogan and Mr. T, accompanied to the ring by Superfly Jimmy Snuka. And TJ, who was the guest timekeeper?
Wasn't this one Muhammad Ali?
No.
He was the guest referee.
Guest referee. Liberace?
Yeah. AJ earlier today
Billy Martin.
told me, huh?
I thought you were about
No.
to ask me who was
No.
the ring
No.
announcer.
TJ, do you know much about Liberace?
No. Outside of being at WrestleMania 1, I know nothing, John.
Looking at Liberace, do you think he'd be a ladies killer?
I'm not sure whose team Liberace plays.
Ryan, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. So earlier today we were watching this. And,
God damn it.
And AJ here, our fearless leader here, made the comment of, I'd be Liberace in a heartbeat. I get to dance around the ring with the Rockettes.
The Rockettes might be more manly than.
I told him that wasn't the only rock he had in his bed.
Oh my.
God damn it, Ryan. I was not expecting you to bring that up tonight.
I just kept it in my pocket when he said it.
He's like,
whatever you say, MFJ.
Fucker.
Yep. But yes,
yeah, I to
AJ,
this day don't know what team Liberace plays for.
Well, he don't play for any team now. He's dead.
Well, obviously, but I meant then.
But yeah, the guest ring announcer AJ was who?
Billy Martin.
And what did Billy Martin do?
He is the only manager in baseball history to get fired the same day he got hired.
Who do you manage for?
The New York fucking Yankees.
Oh, so Steinbrenner fired him in a press conference and then rehired him a week later?
Yep.
Sounds like a wrestling angle.
No shit, right?
Why did he get fired and hired in the same day?
He got hired, and then during that press conference, he had an argument with Steinbrenner because he didn't want to wear the jersey. You know how they button up the jersey and all that stuff. He goes, "No, I got this nice suit on. I'm not doing this. You're doing it. Whatever I tell you, you're gonna fucking do." And he goes, "You know
That's
what?
why I'm not a Yankees
Fuck
fan.
you. You're fired. Get out of here." And then a week later, hired him back.
That's one of the reasons I was never a Yankees fan. The
Well,
other thing was
Steinbrenner.
that people had to shave their beards and everything.
Yeah, you want to talk
that-
that's a conversation for another day, but something that needs to be retired is that.
I mean,
Yeah.
the other Canada team that you don't like is the same way.
Other
The Toronto Maple Leafs.
No, who cares?
They're
Nobody
the same
cares
way.
about hockey.
well, they also have freaking porn stash on their team.
Anyway, back to the tag match. Good tag match.
This was fun. It was fucking chaotic, and I really thought we were gonna see some haymakers come out from Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
'Cause he hit the ring
wanted
hard.
to fight. He wanted to fight. Muhammad Ali has a history in professional wrestling. Muhammad Ali had boxer versus wrestler matches with Gorilla Monsoon in the 70s.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Kind of some boxing people say that's what messed Muhammad Ali up because he wasn't meant to be taken down and all that kind of stuff. And I think he even had a huge boxer versus wrestling match with Antonio Inoki. Antonio Inoki destroyed Muhammad Ali's legs in that match that literally halted his career, and he was never quite the same after that. Back then, wrestlers versus boxers was a big exhibition style match.
This was a very fun and chaotic match, top to bottom.
And the other guest referee for this match was Pat Patterson, and his only job in this match was to keep Mr. T on the path to get the match over with.
Yeah.
Um,
And he had his work cut out for him. He was everywhere.
Keep in mind, Piper and Orndorff hated Mr. T. And if you watch this match back, they punish the hell out of him every time that he's in the ring.
Is that because he's a celebrity coming in?
Because he's a celebrity coming into the wrestling business. And this leads to WrestleMania 2, where we get Piper versus Mr. T in a legit boxing match. So Hogan and T, of course, get the win. Hogan must pose, you guys.
Especially, I like how they did it with this WrestleMania 1. Pop-up circumstance, everybody leaves the ring and immediately put a microphone in front of the winning team.
Yeah.
Right there before it cuts to black.
You get, I think it's Orndorff is holding T, and Orton comes off the top rope with the cast, ducks, hits Mr. Wonderful.
No, he was holding Hulk.
I quickly remember. And this leads to Orndorff and Hogan becoming a team for a little while because Orndorff turns face after this. But yeah, the match is over with, and it's like it is now. It's almost like a makeshift press conference. They instantly put the microphone in front of T and Hogan's face and let them talk. And I mean, T tells them how it is, how hard it was to train for this match and to get ready for it. And guys, WWF is off to the races after this. This is what allows the WWF to continue is the success of WrestleMania.
Now, where did this air originally?
This was closed circuit TV and pay-per-view.
It's a stupid question. How did closed circuit TV work back in the day when it came to these pay-per-view things?
Closed circuit TV worked as in, like, let's say, for instance, you're in Connecticut.
Yep.
So what they would do is if they didn't have the pay-per-view buy rights to it, they would sell tickets to like the Hartford Civic Center or like a small amphitheater,
Okay.
and you would go to the amphitheater and watch on closed circuit TV.
So basically, how, like, say the Super Bowl works, and they'll rent out the stadium that one of the teams is from, and they'll showcase it on a bunch of screens.
Yes,
It's
same
like a
thing.
watch party kind of thing.
Very much so. That's how closed circuit TV worked back
Because
in the day. Because
wasn't
pay per view at this point right now, right in '85, is in its infancy. Without professional wrestling, without the WWF, pay per view doesn't happen.
gonna
I can
say
see that.
isn't WWE at this time actually on like TNT for the weekly programming?
Um,
I actually don't know
this-
about that.
at this point, WWF is kind of everywhere. They're on the USA Network for. Back at this point, they had like 4 different syndicated shows on the
For different areas of
weekends.
the country.
They had like All American Wrestling, Superstar Wrestling, the Wrestling Challenge, Prime Time. Um, I'm trying to think of what the other one was. They were all over the place. USA Network was always kind of home to for them. They did Saturday Night Live. Saturday night's main events were on NBC.
Mm.
They didn't start up until the next year. So they were kind of all over the place. They didn't have a steady. The only steadiness they had was syndication for the weekends.
So, how do you want to wrap this up? Because I thought this was a hell of a way to start, a yearly spectacle.
WrestleMania is what it is today. We're going to for the 40th WrestleMania in less than 6 weeks or 7 weeks.
How many days,
So
AJ?
41.
42, 41?
41. 41 days, guys, and we're at WrestleMania. So, I mean, and to be the name WrestleMania is great because if we were saying we were going to the Wrestle Tussle 40, it just doesn't work.
Doesn't sound right.
So, with that said, next week is yours.
I think we're doing WrestleMania 17. Let me check real fast. Pretty sure I am correct. No, I lied. We're doing WrestleMania 21 next week. WrestleMania goes Hollywood.
Very cool. The very first Money in the Bank, very first Money in the Bank match.
One of the reasons why I picked it, plus the Eddie and Ray match.
2 new world champions.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And the immortal one, baby.
You knew exactly where I was going with that. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the Nerds Do Nerd Things podcast. Go check out our merch line down in the description. But thanks for tuning in. We'll see you Thursday for Ballad of Songbird and Snakes. Deuces.